They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Hello, and welcome to week one of Milwaukee Record LiveSCREAM Theater, coming to you from the very, very spooky and very, very wood-paneled offices of Milwaukee Record. My name is Matt. I will be your host throughout the month of October, bringing you the very best in classic and, very importantly, public domain horror and sci-fi films. We'll be watching one every week. Every Tuesday of the month. The last week of the month, I'm doing one on a Monday. I'll explain why later. Let's before I go on here, thank you for tuning in, if anyone's tuning in. So that's very exciting if you are tuning in. And feel free to chat away via Facebook, via Twitter, via YouTube, which you'll be able to see your chat pop up once we start the movie. It'll all make sense eventually. Before I go on, let me introduce my first guests for this very inaugural and very, very slapped together. Actually, not slapped together. I've been just killing myself trying to figure this all out. So, but hello, Tigernite. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome.
This is terrific. When I thought of this idea and pitched it, and then it was approved, and then I thought, oh shit, now I have to do this. One of the first people I thought of was Tigernite. I wanted a band on here for one of the episodes, and what better Milwaukee band for a kind of Halloween-y, kind of October, fall, spooky, horror movie kind of thing than Tigernite. So thank you, everyone.
It's an auspicious occasion.
Yeah.
I know, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to introduce yourselves really quick? Just say hello.
Sure.
Hello, I'm Molly. I'm the yeller.
Hello, Alex, play drums.
Maxwell, I play electronic guitar.
I know you guys have been playing out for how long now? Like 5-6 years, something like that?
5.5?
Yeah.
Technically.
Closer to 6.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
We're
I know
old
you...
chunks of coal.
Our band can read now.
Hey.
Hey, congratulations.
And use the bathroom somewhat.
Yeah.
No, they're good at that.
We're
Like.
We'll talk. We're actually another reason I wanted to have a band on for one of the episodes is so we could watch some videos, which we'll be doing tonight. We'll be watching 2 Tigernite videos, including one of not only my favorite Milwaukee songs of recent years, but just one of my favorite songs. I love it so much. We'll save that for the end, so stick around for one of my favorite songs, courtesy of the 3 of you. Thank you so much. And I suppose we should maybe talk about tonight's movie. Here's a fun fact. Tonight's movie made its theatrical debut exactly 51 years ago tonight. October 1st, 1968, Night of the Living Dead, yes, the classic George Romero zombie movie, Night of the Living Dead, made its theatrical debut. This is a film that answers the question, what happens when a bunch of schlubby industrial filmmakers from Pittsburgh chip together a bunch of money and change the face of horror films forever. This is, of course, directed by George Romero, written by Romero and John, what's his name? Let me check my notes. I promised I wasn't going to do this. I know his name too. John Russo, co-writer on that one, and we'll talk more about John Russo and George Romero, of course, as the night goes on. This, of course, is a classic. A million things have been said and written about this film in the past 51 years, and rightfully so. So hopefully, I've got some nuggets tonight that I've kind of dug a little deeper for. So hopefully, people who have seen this movie 8 zillion times, and it is in the public domain. We'll talk about that as well, why it's in the public domain. seems kind of strange that such a famous film would be just, freely available on YouTube and whatnot. We'll talk about that. Let's talk about you guys. Who has seen this movie? Who has not?
I have not seen it.
5 minutes of this movie, bits and pieces.
I've never seen this movie, so
Yeah.
I will be legitimately surprised by what happens.
This is
Absolutely. I've seen like 4 movies.
You've seen 4 movies total.
Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3, and like Wayne's World, and that's about it.
Wow.
How spooky is this movie? How scary is this movie?
This movie, it's actually, it's 1968.
Okay.
It was very, very controversial in its day, of course. There's a lot of gore for 68.
Okay.
And there are a few moments that are, I think, legitimately a little unnerving. And I don't know, the whole movie's kind of got a spooky, unnerving kind of vibe to it. There are a few moments that are just like, yeah. So, yeah, I think it holds up 51 years later. So, I'm excited that you guys, kind of seeing this for the first time or seeing more than 4 minutes of it for the first time. And like I said, if anyone is tuning in, feel free to comment along via YouTube. You'll see the little chat pop up in a second once we start the movie. You can hop on Twitter. You'll see the hashtag pop up here soon. I'll check Facebook and stuff. Like I said, whoever's tuning in, that'd be great. And very important thing. This is all kind of brought to you by the 2019 Milwaukee Film Festival, which is set to take over Milwaukee screens October 17th through the 31st. We'll talk more about that as the night goes on. You can check them out at mkefilm.org. And in fact, we have some vouchers, some Milwaukee Film Festival vouchers that we'll be giving away during tonight's feature. So I don't know. So if anyone's tuning in, you have a really good shot at winning some free tickets to the film festival. So without further ado, let's travel back 51 years exactly to this day, and let's watch the 1968 zombie classic. Don't call it a zombie classic because they don't actually use the word zombie throughout this movie at all. Let's watch Night of the Living Dead.
So they actually don't use zombie in the movie?
They do not.
Was that not like a word back then in the 60s?
What I think Romero and everyone called them ghouls. And that was it. I think he said that his idea of zombies were, the kind of zombies, the voodoo zombies from exactly, yeah, from White Zombie, the original. Who's in that?
Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie was actually in that one.
65.
Yes. Bela Lugosi was in the original White Zombie, and that's very Haitian. And so this was not conceived as a zombie movie. They just kind of invented an entirely new kind of monster, this flesh-eating ghoul. It's modern zombiehood all starts right here.
Really? So this is like the first American zombie movie?
Yeah, kind of like modern zombie movie. Zombies as we know them today begin right here.
Hi, Conan, honey. Thanks for watching.
No, we have not seen this movie.
Fun.
Somebody's already in for a treat, though.
I could be incorrect, but I did read that it was in recent history that it is illegal to make someone a zombie in other countries.
Like it's on the books law.
To make them an actual...
Because it's an actual crime that somebody burying people. It's finally in recent history.
That has to be a crime here, too.
This is a new thing? This is a new development?
History,
wow.
Yeah.
For being such like a spooky band, you'd think we'd know more like zombie history.
I have to say I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
See, well, we're into very specific types of undead.
That's true.
And by we, I mean me. Sorry, guys.
I'm a big wimp. I don't like spooky or scary things at all.
There's no blood in this movie, so don't worry.
It's all black and white, so yeah.
All the chocolate syrup you can do.
And thanks for tuning in. And nice work today on the all ages thing. It was a big win for Milwaukee. Milwaukee music today.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugs
This
you,
is the
Johnny,
part
you
where they
wouldn't
walk
do
up to the
it.
mansion and there's a
You got
freaking
one to
party
blow
going on.
Sunday on a scene like this? You know,
It's-
I figure
it's
we're
a
either
big
gonna have
monster
to move
mash.
Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
It actually kind of looks like Bill when he was younger. My dad. He looks
Oh.
like these names.
Is there any of that candy left?
The character here of Johnny is played by Russ Striner, I believe his name is, and like a lot of folks that you'll see in this movie, he is one of the investors of this movie. Kind of
Mother
the
wants to remember, so we trot 200
how they
miles
put
in
this
the
together.
pickup and she
Basically,
stays.
there were two companies that kind of came together, and 10 of them pooled. I think they each kicked in $600 each to come up with $6,000, and that's how they started filming on a budget of $6,000. They kind of quickly figured out they're going to need more than that. Then they brought in like 10 more investors. It's $600 apiece, and eventually, by the end, I think the final budget of this was $114,000,
Which row is it in?
which is dirt cheap, even by 1968 standards, and. The filmmakers and the creators really didn't make a penny off it, which, in the public domain, we can talk about that more later, too.
Now, is the black or white a stylistic choice or budgetary concerns?
I think they... I watched an interview with Romero and Russo and all those guys, and they kind of like went back and forth on that. I think they started... It started out as a budgetary thing.
There it is.
At some point, when they kind of raised some more dough, they realized, like, we could just refilm some stuff and do it all in color. But they ended up going with, actually, they shot it on 35 millimeter, which is impressive. A lot of people think it's 16 millimeter.
I wonder
but
what
it's
happened to
actually
the one from
shot on
last
35.
year. Each year we spend good money
You're
on
saying the
these
whole
things.
film fits
Come
on
out here and the
35
one from last
millimeters
year's gone.
Exactly.
Flowers die. The
Even
caretaker
back in
learning
the day.
somebody takes them away.
Oh, we got an incredibly
Polish,
iconic
we'll
line
clean
coming.
this up.
Yes.
Sell it next year.
I think this guy's seen
Wonder how many times we bought the same one. Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh?
There it is.
Man, brutal.
The iconic
In broad
line.
daylight. The
It's
lightning
just-
in broad daylight.
So brutal. Here we go.
Oh, somebody puts on gloves in a horror movie, that's never a good sign.
I do love this because
Hey,
it is
I mean,
during the
praise
day.
for
It's
church,
like,
huh?
Broad daylight.
yeah,
Come on.
it just makes it so
I haven't
odd.
seen you in church lately.
Well, there's not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind the tree, and Grandpa got all excited, and he shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boy, you be damned to hell." Remember that? Right over there. You used to really be scared here.
Johnny,
You're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
Here we go. Here's the line.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming
Stop
for
it.
you, Barbara.
I love that. I love her
Stop
reply
it.
to it.
You're
It's
acting
almost
like a
as good as
child.
the.
They're coming for you.
It's like YouTube comments.
There comes one
Back
of
in
them
the
now.
day.
Very slow walking person.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of it.
Johnny. Oh! No! No! Johnny! Help me!
Oh, Johnny.
Necking in the cemetery.
Done.
R.I.P. Johnny. There he goes.
Johnny, that's it? Johnny's cash?
That's it.
5 minutes in.
Johnny.
Yeah.
into like killing weaponized
Right.
killing machine zombies. That's interesting. I wonder what that's.
I think George Romero had like one of his last interviews. I'm sure he talked about it a lot, but he was like, "Zombies move slow. They are slow moving." Like he came down hard on that. He's like, "Look, people, I invented him.
Reanimated bodies.
They do not run."
They can use tools.
Did I miss? Does she not have the car keys? Is that not why she's not driving away?
Yep, she's just gonna pull that brake and coast away.
Good job,
Best dressed zombie I've ever seen.
There was this film being in the public domain, there were like there's been so many remakes and so many different versions of it. And one of the co-writers, John Russo, he, for the 30th anniversary, and he did not have the blessing of George Romero on this at all, but he did a 30th anniversary edition of this movie where he shot new scenes and inserted them into the old film like 30 years ago. He's kind of beat like George Lucas to the punch on that for his Star Wars. And anyway, it was basically kind of like an intro and a final thing, but the intro explains where this zombie came from, this first zombie. Like, the dying question we've all been, that we all wanted to know, where did this guy come from? So we see him being buried, and the funny thing is he actually used the same actor.
Really?
And dressed him up 30 years later as a zombie again, and like cut back and forth, and it's like so bad. Like it's obviously 30 years later, and but points for trying, I suppose.
Need the Genesis story.
Exactly.
Another thing with like horror movies, like it's scary if you don't know. I don't know.
Kind of don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
She got rid of shoes. Barbara, come on.
He's
Run!
still,
Yeah.
While he stumbles slowly after you.
Find
Run!
one object. I suppose they don't know to destroy the brain yet.
not yet.
Are these zombies susceptible to brain destroying?
They
Is
are.
that the idea?
I
Okay.
believe, yeah. We'll hear more about that soon, I believe.
The most he could muster is like a brisk stroll. Do you think he'd be better out outside?
That was my thought.
It's a saunter.
Now we're putting the gas.
Yep.
All right.
Got the knife.
Question: Are you folks take your shoes off when you go in the house, people, or not?
Yes.
No.
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 It drives me nuts, like when you show up to a party and you put everyone looking cute, and they're like, "Yeah, just pop your shoes off at the door," and then you're standing around in your tights like an asshole,
Yeah.
while you're like dressed up and your makeup on.
I'm not a fan.
Guess I need to
those shoes
change
on.
my Christmas party rules.
I wasn't talking about your
It's
Christmas
definitely
party.
bad.
Nobody
Well,
dresses up when they come to my house.
No.
Let's be real.
I wear socks when I go.
Yeah.
Ah,
Tank top and boxers. I'm like overdressed in my house.
Man. Is that a tiger or is that some kind of...
and he's still out there.
I'm trying to hook your cable up.
That's right.
It's like, can't you just use the AT&T line? Ah. Oh, Bobcat is my guess. Based off the tail.
Oh, I was going to say tails.
Little tails.
It looks funny because it looks like...
This is, her name is Judith O'Day in the role of Barbara.
Was she in anything else?
Not a lot. I think she was kind of an aspiring actress, and she was out in Hollywood, and then actually came back to Pittsburgh to audition for this, and she got it. Yeah, kind of one of the things.
And now it's with time travel.
6 hours later.
Anyone's career like rocket ship after this movie?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
George Romero, arguably, not even arguably, I think, hands down, had the most successful career after this film. And even Romero, I mean, he did a lot of great things after this. He, of course, did the sequels, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and then later did like 900 more of the Dead kind of sequels, kind of later in life. And, you know, he did, what else did he do? What's the Stephen King, not Tales from the Crypt, but
Creepshow.
Creepshow,
right?
thank you, yes, Creepshow, yeah. What's the one with
Anything
like
with Ted Danson.
Leslie Nielsen and
Yeah,
like
he's
they
like
bury him
buried
in
the beach. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Don't worry about him. I can handle him.
Either way.
There'll probably be a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us.
Did this actor also come from LA to Pittsburgh, which is the traditional
Yeah, the real career trajectory. That's
or
right.
as I like to call it, the reverse Jeff
We're trying to get out
Goldblum.
of here if we can get some gas. Is there a key?
I'm gonna high five myself for my Jeff
There you
Goldblum
go.
knowledge
There you
there.
go.
Thank you. Did he come from Pittsburgh, really?
Yeah.
Goldblum? Oh.
I think Jeff Goldblum's probably my best favorite actor.
Best favorite.
Best favorite?
Either him or Sam Rockwell.
Wow. It's a solid list, yeah.
But I think it's Jeff Goldblum because like I don't think he acts. I think he just is Jeff Goldblum, but with
kinda
different clothes on in whatever
That's right.
movie he's in.
That's
He's
his
just wearing
big
different
thing.
clothes. But he can't change it.
Right, right.
Oh, this is Dwayne Jones in the lead here, and Dwayne Jones was this like wildly overqualified actor for this role. He was classically trained, worked in the theater a lot. He was an academic. He taught literature. Very sophisticated, very educated guy. And I'm not even sure like what possessed him to audition for this role, but he got it. And his presence, I mean, I think he's terrific in this movie. He's really great, and his very presence. This role, according to Romero and all the filmmakers, was, not, they kind of assumed it would be, this is 1968. They assumed it would be a white guy, and then Dwayne Jones kind of came in, and he kind of killed it. And they had actually had one of their buddies kind of like lined up to play this role, and then Jones came in, just killed it, and they're like, well, he's the best actor for the part, so they gave it to him, and did not change the script at all to reflect that this was a black man in this role. So that's something that both, I think, Jones and Romero kind of went back and forth about over the years, whether that was a good idea, whether it was more progressive, or a better idea to not address that and just here it is, or if it should have been more kind of directly addressed in the script. So as it stands, it's really not addressed in the script. It's he's just an actor.
Zombies are equal opportunity monsters.
Oh, absolutely.
It's interesting to me, though, that they have the ability to bust out the headlights, but they haven't busted out the windows. They have
Bottle.
their affinity for smashing seems to be...
Would it be like too intense to show him actually like hitting their faces at the
I don't
time? Is
know.
that the idea?
I believe that is the co-writer of the film, John Russo, right there. Who I think later we get to see him lit on fire.
Oh,
Yeah, buckle up for that.
So if you just have enough money, you can do a movie. Is that
Yeah,
the idea?
if you had $600, yeah.
Well, I mean, if I had $600 to make a movie, I'd ask you to be in my movie.
Oh yeah,
You know, you'd all
I'd
be in
do
my
it.
movie.
Well, that's remarkably similar to how Tigernite started. Except we didn't hit $600. It was like $37. Like I had $11. You had 14.
You all want to make it right?
Let's do it.
That'll be next week for this. It'll just be the origin story of Tiger.
We got to make up something way more interesting than the actual truth. 'Cause
I don't know. I think the time we spent on the alligator party together was.
well, yeah, it was
Or
informative is an understatement.
Or zombies are just scared of loving them in the face.
I like the
I don't know.
bathrobe. It's,
Just thinking about that, like, wouldn't that suck
Very-
if you were made into a zombie? Because he was clearly, like, in bed or reading a paper.
Right.
Or, like, having a
Trying to
pancake
relax.
or something, just trying to relax.
Well, it's kind of related to that, like,
know we're in
ghosts.
here now.
Do they take on the form that they were when they died? Because, like, every ghost you see is, like, some Victorian. That has
Is
some,
that your outfit forever?
Yeah. You never see, like, a ghost with, like, Vans on.
Good reason to be snappy.
Don't look at it.
I respect.
The wig's looking pretty good considering. Was that a rough day?
Do you have a moment to talk about Jesus Christ?
It's the same shot, right?
is it? Oh, yeah.
3 times. It's the same kind of I mean, it's a spooky one. Use it. You know?
Right.
Keep using it.
Oh, here we go.
Milk it.
There we go. And
Hey.
take a quick little break there. Well, how about that Night of the Living Dead? Thoughts? Questions, concerns?
I don't have any questions or concerns.
I have a
it's
lot
honestly,
of questions, but I feel like we've been
Mm-hmm.
at it.
It's like less. It's less like graphic than I thought it was gonna be, but also I'm like interested in it. It's not like boring. You know?
Yeah, it is. It's the rare kind of public domain movie that's actually good. It's not terrible like the rest of the lineup for Milwaukee Record LiveSCREAM Theater is. We'll have to thank YouTube for that. But this is a legitimately good movie. Like I said, this was made for initially $6,000. 2 different companies made up of George Romero, John Russo, and Russ Streiner, I think, had their own little company. And they hooked up with 2 other folks who we'll meet very, very soon, who had their own little production company. They all hooked up. They kicked in a bunch of money, and they made this thing. Fun fact about George Romero, who directed this film and went on to a pretty interesting career. One of his first gigs was making films for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Really?
He was one of the guys that you remember when Mr. Rogers would like sit down and he had his little, I don't know what he called it, his picture or whatever. Yeah,
That was the best part of the show.
it was a frame, and then it was basically just like, let's watch a film like that. Some of those, like how to make crayons
That's
or whatever.
the first one I thought
Yeah.
of is that crayon factory one. It's so satisfying watching all the little crayons
Yep.
fall on those.
George Romero, that was one of his first gigs. I mean, they're all from Pittsburgh. It was all like local dudes and local women as well, who we'll soon meet one of the other investors there. And this film went on to gross and make a ton of money. And like I said, the filmmakers didn't make a penny of it. They kind of milked it, and I think Conan had mentioned it earlier in the comments. Like, you can't blame Romero or everyone else for trying to milk this thing for like 40 years afterwards, because this film kind of comically slipped into the public domain. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And but before we get back to the film, what I would love to do is watch perhaps a video. This is really like fulfilling my dreams of being both a horror movie host and an MTV VJ. I don't know, just call me Matt Pinfield here. This is very exciting. So yeah. Like I said, one of the reasons I wanted a band on here was so we could watch some videos. So let's watch a video from Tigernite. The first video we're going to watch tonight is Witch. Tell me a little bit about this song and this video.
Well, this song, I think, was one of the first songs that kind of took Tigernite into its present direction. It was kind of a one-off. Eric and I wrote this song together, and the video is directed and shot and edited by Eric Arsno, super talented local filmmaker, and we shot it in his garage. And it was a super fun day.
Whoa, I don't know what that was. Whoops. There, we fixed that.
Unsettling.
Technical glitch. Yeah, let's get right to the video. This is Tigernite with Witch. That was Tigernite with Witch. Tell me about that video. It's a very unique video. This is, you know, made up of a ton of still photos or still video frames. What was the deal?
That's correct. He went in, and I'm not a filmmaker, so this is like witchcraft to me, so I don't understand it entirely. But he went through and separated all the films and essentially made a flip book and made Xerox copies of all of them and scanned all the images back into basically a flip book of the song. It was really labor intensive, and he should be really proud of it.
And a couple of them with the color on them, his son and a couple other people I think drew, like colored in some of the frames to scan them back in.
Little Hot Wheel car painting.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was cool.
It's amazing. You guys, I mean, a lot of your videos are kind of like self-produced, right? I think the one that we'll watch a little later tonight was kind of more self-produced.
Absolutely.
I always love your videos, and like I said, coming up we have one of my favorite songs from you and favorite songs of recent years. But before we get to that, let's get back to the movie. It is, of course, Night of the Living Dead from George Romero, 1968. Like I said at the top of the show, premiered exactly 51 years ago tonight. What an auspicious thing that we're doing here. Thanks for tuning in to Milwaukee Record Live Scream Theater. This is week 1. I'll be coming to you live every week throughout the month of October. We'll be watching basically whatever I could dredge up and what YouTube would allow. So we've got some real doozies coming up in the weeks ahead. And this is all brought to you, of course, by the 2019 Milwaukee Film Festival. October 17th through the 31st. I am beside myself with excitement for the film festival this year. There is some stuff. I'm wearing my Twin Peaks shirt tonight. They are screening Twin Peaks Firewalk with me, and both Cheryl Lee and Ray Wise, Laura and Leland Palmer will be in attendance. After that, I will die, and it's fine. Like if I see that, I can just die.
That'll make your show really spooky. Then you'll have a ghost host.
That's right. Yes, get ready for those shows because it's gonna get weird. So let's get back to the film, Night of the Living Dead.
The barbecue, right? Yeah.
There we go.
This cardigan is immaculate, considering.
Get some more lights on in this house.
I fiddle with things here.
Ooh.
Hi, Marielle.
Why don't you see if you can find some wood, some board, something there by the fireplace, something we can nail this place up.
I feel like we have to bring our A game. All Schwann's tuned in. No, this is oh boy.
Look, I know
Your show at the Oriental recently, was it last week or a couple weekends ago? The Mary Knoll show. Incredible. Thank you for that.
We'll be all right here.
Amazing.
We'll be all right here until someone comes to rescue us. But we'll have to work together. You'll have to help me. Now, I want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up.
Another great example of all the talent Milwaukee music brings.
Okay?
It's
Really
it's ridiculous.
yeah, golden age of Milwaukee music.
It really is. I know this because when I actually was active in my band, everything was terrible, and we were a big part of that. So it's nice to see true talent rising to the top here.
What was your band called?
No one wants to know.
I want to.
You've seen the secret.
Yeah. No, it's
Loose change.
we were the that's right. We were the Holy Mary Motor Club.
All
We
right.
played
HMMC?
HMMC.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, is there a music box in every horror movie? Is that one of the tropes?
Confirmed.
Gotcha. You think the guy who invented music boxes, or the gal who invented music boxes, what? He tried to create this beautiful thing, and now it's this big creepy thing that everybody associates with about to getting murdered or about to summon
really
something
right,
terrible.
Right.
Boxes.
Same with clowns. Whoever invented clowns. Was there
I
an
think Satan
inventor for that?
invented clowns. Stephen Clown.
That's right. Him and the Earl of Sandwich got together. They invented sandwiches and clowns the same night. It was a real hot night.
One took off, the other also
That's
took
right.
off.
Yeah, both have done well.
I've eaten more sandwiches than clowns in my time. I feel like that's kind of odd.
I applied for a job at the International Clown Hall of Fame, which used to be in Milwaukee. It used to be in the basement of the old Grand Avenue Mall.
Why?
What hasn't happened in the basement of Grand Avenue? Jesus.
Oh.
International Clown.
We're gonna save that for its own dedicated
Oh, okay.
show. My
After hours program.
after hours.
My shout out to Shelby's mom, actual graduate of clown college. No, she got kicked out of clown college.
Okay.
That's actually
I've
Wow.
known
That's
you
actually
for like
true.
10 years and I've never heard this story.
yeah. Her mom got kicked out of clown
What?
college for being too bad at being a clown.
Too awesome.
Probably.
Not scary.
She was too groundbreaking for the time. They had to
see.
kind of bury.
Ahead of her time.
Yeah.
Wait, we're talking about that later.
That's basically all I know. So we'll have to figure out it together.
It's not that strong.
I remember I made a joke during my interview about clowns, and it turns out people who work for the International Clown Hall of Fame don't like jokes about clowns.
No.
This room looks pretty
I
secure.
used to work for the company that made all of Ronald McDonald's garments, and I will
We
tell
have to,
you
we can
what,
run in
they
here and
are
board up the doors.
very
Ronald.
serious.
They're into it, yeah.
The long time those things be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now.
So you interviewed at the historical, was it the Hall of Fame Clown Museum?
Yeah, it was in the basement of the Grand Avenue.
And they didn't take joking around about it was like, no, we
Yeah,
don't do
that
here.
pretty much killed it. They're,
Shoes
I mean,
are
they're
too
fucking clowns,
small.
man.
they're like, they asked, they're like, well, do you like clowns? And I'm like, I think I said something like, well, does anyone? Something,
Appropriate, you know, honesty.
something like that, yeah. And they're like, oh,
they're like, we do.
Snowball.
here, watch this video and then leave us alone.
Anyhow, that's where I found that truck I have
How
out
far
there.
into the interview is the question, do you like
Like
clowns?
You like clowns?
Yeah.
I mean, like, question number one?
No,
Yeah,
it really wasn't.
They wasted your
Big
time. Let's
gasoline
be
truck
fair.
came
Yeah.
screaming right across the road. But there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on.
Don't call him zombie.
Slightly slow and bruised
I didn't see that
human
at first.
mammals.
I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it.
I think what's
I bet it's not a team player.
Truck went right across the road.
a lot of people have criticized this movie for Barbara, who, you know, and what, you know, she's basically catatonic throughout
Right.
this entire movie, and
Cut off
it's.
the road. Into that
I suppose you
gas
could see
station
it, you know, one of two ways. Either it's a poorly written female character who has like no agency and barely has any lines after the first, 10 minutes,
Reflects the time.
or I don't, yeah, or it's actually maybe you could see it as kind of like this kind of bold, kind of crazy choice to make your lead, pretty much in shock the entire time, and I think it actually helps that. She is kind of just in shock throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
It kind of, if you identify with her, and I think we're meant to, she's one of the first people we see. It just kind of puts you in that kind of space of just being, completely in shock about what's going on. So I see it
good
one of two
point.
ways.
Yeah, the handful of horror movies I've seen, like, as soon as like the shit starts going down, the amount of time people are like, "What the fuck is going on?" to the point where they're like, "All right, let's get together and band together and knock these." Yeah, it's like way quick.
Those things. Just
But also, like,
standing there.
I think I don't know. I assume that there's a name for this rule in writing or whatever. But like, when people call each other in a movie and they like set up a date or like, "Hey, we got to meet here," they don't talk about the details of like, "Let's meet at the boardwalk at 5:30 p.m. Is that okay with you?" Like, you exclude all of that.
Right.
So I'm assuming some of that probably is just good writing in a movie because you don't want to see people being like, "Hey, you want to go on a date? Sure. When's good for you? Friday at 5:30? Actually, I can't do that. I have work until
General
6."
chatter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
scattered through the air like bugs.
I think he just gets one big monologue.
I was gonna say this
We were
is
riding in the cemetery. Johnny and me.
Well, she lost Johnny, and obviously Johnny's a stud, so.
Glasses.
Johnny went down too. He didn't even
We
get bitten
came
or
to put a wreath
bumped his head
on
on
my
his
father's grave.
stone.
Johnny and he said, "Can I have some candy, Barbara?" We didn't have any. And
That's the worst thing about this.
it's
They
hot
didn't
in
have
here.
candy.
Hot.
This is a big moment here. He is just not having it.
And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late." Johnny asked me if I were afraid. And I said,
Yeah,
"I'm
we're
not
down to this,
afraid,
or
Johnny."
what's the punchline?
And then this man started walking up the road.
Also, what were they late for? It was like
Slowly.
12:30.
And Johnny kept
maybe
teasing
1.
me and saying, "He's coming to get you, Barbara." And I laughed at him and said, "Johnny, stop it." And then Johnny ran away.
I believe what she said was, Johnny, you're being ignorant.
I went up to this
Something to
man,
that effect.
and I was going to apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And
That's
I looked
building a
up,
shelf at home.
and I said,
this is like when we get back from IKEA, we're trying to put
And he
together a
grabbed
stupid
me.
bookshelf with doors on it.
Actually,
One of us is having a meltdown, and the other one's like,
It was candy.
"It was candy."
ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
All these extra screws.
You guys ever actually bought something off IKEA? I feel like everything you've picked up is off some like crazy
It's all-
rummage sale.
Yeah, it's all hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let me go. He ripped. And then Johnny came and he ran and he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I ran. And Johnny
She know we
didn't
saw all this
come.
already. She didn't.
I think so, yeah.
We've got to.
Yeah, we
We
know.
have to wait for Johnny.
Then you lit the guy on fire, and badass started bunkering the house down.
Meanwhile, he's just kind of
Yeah.
puttering around
I'm
the
not
house
sure
here.
yet.
Saying,
Like,
We have to go out and get Johnny. He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him. Please! We have got to go get Johnny! Please help me!
0.
Please!
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone!
Your brother is dead.
No! My brother is not dead!
standard of happiness.
Sunday school.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yep.
That.
I know he was very, Dwayne Jones was very hesitant, or did not want to do that scene. He did not want
Yeah.
to, did not want to hit her.
Now he's taking her clothes off.
And
Bad luck.
he unfortunately died pretty young. I think he died at 51. He died in the 80s. And after this film, he did a few other things, but he kind of disappeared back into the theater world after
Because of
this.
the obvious threat to
And
untold numbers of citizens,
was kind
and
of
because of the
a
crisis
little.
which is even now developing,
I don't think he was
this
ashamed of
radio
this
station
movie,
will
or
remain on the
he
air
didn't
day and night.
regret that he
This
had done
station
it,
and
but I
hundreds
think
of other
he
radio
was kind
and
of
TV stations throughout this
just
part
didn't
of the
want to
country
talk about
are
it. I think
pooling their
there's
resources
an
to
interview
an
with him. I
emergency
think the only
network
time he ever
to
talked
keep
about
you
it was
informed of all developments.
it was like
At
a
this
short
hour,
like
we
audio
repeat,
interview. You can
these
find it
are
on
the facts
YouTube
as
where
we
he
know
talks
them.
about
There is an epidemic of
his
mass
role
murder
and
being committed by
just
a
kind of
virtual
not
army
wanting
of
to talk about
unidentified
it.
assassins. The murders are taking place in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs with no
movie didn't
apparent
do
pattern
well
or reason
after
for the
its
slaying.
release, and then
It
kinda
seems to
got
be a
like,
sudden
"Oh."
general explosion of mass
It did,
homicide.
yeah. It
We have some descriptions of the
I suppose we could talk about like why it fell into the public domain, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
kind of
in a kind of trance.
a really stupid and kind of comic way that it happened. The film was originally known as Night of the Flesh Eaters, and it was yeah, it's kind of a badass title. And I believe they had that title throughout the entire film, and they finished it up. It was known as Night of the Flesh Eaters, and they even had they made a title card for it in the beginning of the film when you see the car rolling up to the graveyard. It said Night of the Flesh Eaters, and then it had all the copyright information under that. Typically, movies would have kind of their copyright stuff at the end credits, but this film had it at the opening credits. And at some point, I don't know if it was the distributor or who exactly it was, they said you can't call it Night of the Flesh Eaters. There's a film that just came out that has a similar title, like just Flesh Eaters or something like that. So they just called it Night of the Living Dead. They came up with that title, and they swapped in a new title card for the opening credits that we already saw, and they forgot to put on the copyright information. And there you go.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Like a typo, really.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Wow. In spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with
And yeah, so
apparently to flee just anywhere. We repeat,
50 plus years later, this is still in the public domain. And, though I think in a lot of ways the fact that it is public domain certainly, well, it didn't help the filmmakers. Like I said, they didn't make any money off it at first, but I think it certainly helps the film become the kind of like big horror film touchstone that it has become. I'm sure there's a list somewhere, I didn't look it up, but I'm sure there's a list of other like horror films that include people watching Night of the Living Dead like on TV at some point in the movie, or just any movies in general, people watching this movie, because why not? Just toss it on.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for it.
Even like the barricading of the windows and doors feels like something that every zombie movie. No idea if that's something for other genres.
I think, yeah, it is kind of like an early example of like this like one location kind of horror movie that
the Winchester.
I suppose there were plenty of those films before. House on Haunted Hill takes place in a haunted house kind of thing, but yeah, this, like I said, kind of barricade yourself in one spot. Definitely an early example of that.
Punch the other survivor in the face. That classic trope.
I feel like there's a lot of Evil Dead in this movie too,
Yes.
That's
Yep.
what I was thinking about.
Yeah. That was my thought with the taxidermy.
Not the maniacal laugh.
Tell the people, for God's sake, to get off the streets. Tell them to go home and lock their doors and windows up tight. We don't know what kind of murder-happy characters we have here.
What a fresh Winchester cigarette.
Of Camden, North Carolina.
No ads in the movie.
The only descriptions, the only clues anyone has.
I did see some product placement for just the nice tea bags.
Ah.
Schools.
Product placement, or just, hey, you forgot to take the tea out of the
Perhaps.
Oh,
Some eyewitnesses tell of seeing victims who look as though they had been torn apart. This whole ghastly story began developing 2 days ago with the report of the slaying of a family of 7 in their rural home near Gulfport.
see what they zoomed in.
Reports of such senseless killings began snowballing in a reign of terror which has hopscotched
Andy Rifle.
disconnected matters throughout much of the eastern and midwestern United States. Efforts to keep track of the murder reports by the placing of markers on a map seem to indicate a general spreading from the extreme southeastern United States to the north and west. Talking with officials and public
Night of the Living, Rocky Horror Picture Dead.
There was a remake in 1990, I believe, that was produced or executive produced by George Romero himself. Forget
Found
who
a gun and
directed
some
this.
bullets out there.
May have been Tom Savini, but the part of Ben was played by Tony Todd from Candyman.
This place is
And I
boarded
think
up pretty solid now.
the barber character in the
be
remake
all
was
right
kind of
for a while.
rewritten as a more kind of,
We have the gun and bullets.
you know, as a character with more agency. You know, she just wasn't this catatonic,
Sooner or later, someone
you know, practically
bound
a
to come
body
and
in
get
this
us
thing.
out.
She's
Yeah.
just hardly doing anything. It was kind of rewritten, where she's more of a kick-ass kind
Yeah.
of character.
Guys, like, oh, what are you still mad
Yeah,
about the
sounds
whole
pretty
me
all right.
punching you in
Punching
the
you in
face
the
thing? Like, get over it. That happened like a minute ago. God.
Survival instructions and further details of this continuing story.
Look, I don't know if you're hearing me,
Goes on in the absence of any
but I'm going upstairs now.
It's almost as though some
If you want, I can punch you
If
in the
anything
face.
should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there. I'll be down
Oh, wait,
to
we
take
haven't
care of
addressed
it.
it. Did we address the dead guy upstairs yet?
Oh, yeah, that's
Everything's
right.
all
There's a
right for
skeleton
now.
upstairs.
Oh,
I'll be
the
back
body,
to
yeah.
reinforce the windows and doors
Dead
later.
lady.
But you'll be all right for now, okay? Okay.
I'll punch you again if I have to.
what is Cumberland, Maryland. Civil defense officials in Cumberland have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
What?
Okay, all right. When are we going to talk about this?
How about the beautiful handwriting? Craftsmanship.
It's
Very
good in
easy.
the
A
bowling.
little wobbly.
Yeah, maybe not the craftsmanship.
Yeah. I figure what the deal is with this house. If it was kind of an abandoned house that was scheduled for demolition or something, sounds about right.
Oh, sure.
I believe the part of the body is played by someone else we'll see later in the film. This is one of those movies where everyone you see probably had two other parts in the movie and did 9 things behind the scenes, whether they
were killing and eating
kicked
their
in money
victims.
or did
Yeah.
makeup or
Authorities
costumes.
examined the bodies
Right.
of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen
Is there like a
murder
twist at the
victims
end, you were
show
saying?
evidence of
You
having
know how it
been
ends?
partially devoured by their murderers.
Yes.
Medical examination of victims' bodies shows conclusively that the
feel like
killers
Johnny's gonna
are
come back.
eating the
I don't want
flesh
to.
of
I
the
don't
people
Ooh.
they killed.
I don't want to make any crazy predictions,
And so
but
this
If anyone in the
Johnny
comments
story
wants to
becomes
spoil it, go
more
ahead.
ghastly with
Johnny
each
just
day.
bumped his head,
It's
man. He
difficult to
can't be.
imagine
He
such
can't
a
be
thing
close.
actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and
His
passing on to
glasses
you.
broke his
Reports
fall.
which have been verified
They were
as
like
completely as
double
is possible in
telescope.
this confused
Yeah.
situation. It is happening, and it would appear that no one is safe from this wave of mass murder.
Poetry.
Let's have, yeah.
The like little wisp of hair.
Don't shoot! We're from town.
A
radio.
I think that is Rob Corddry. Good lord.
Verifies that reports of murder victims being partially eaten by their slayers is true. No further details available at this time. However,
How long you guys been down there? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How are we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody would know somebody if needed help.
Look, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there.
We thought we could hear screams, but for all we knew, that could have meant those things were in the house afterward.
And you wouldn't come up and help.
Well, if there were more of
The
it,
racket sounded like the place was being ripped apart. How were we supposed to know what was going on?
Now wait a minute. You just got
Like
to
other
saying
bakery.
here.
Yeah.
It just, yeah, and that's certainly kind of the overall point of this movie. You know, obviously there's the ghouls attacking, and as the threat, but you know, are we also the threat? And we all get along, and so there's instant bickering here. The Rob Corddry, the bald-headed guy here is Carl Hardman, another one of the investors, the initial investors of the movie, kicked in $600, and he, along with his business partner, and I'm not sure if they were partners, romantic partners, but Beryl and Eastman, who we'll meet momentarily, they were kind of the other company that kicked in. They had their own kind of industrial commercial film company in Pittsburgh. So they were among the initial investors, and they also doubled as, I believe, the makeup and the wardrobe. like I said,
With all of us working, we could fix
everyone you
this
see
place up
in
no
this
time. We have
movie
everything we
did
need up
12
here.
different
We
things.
can take all that stuff downstairs with us. Man, you're really crazy. You know that? You got 1,000,000 windows up here. All these windows, you're gonna make them strong enough to keep these things out, huh?
I told you those things don't have any strength. I smashed 3 of them and pushed another one out the door.
Did you hear me when I told you they turned over our car?
Oh, hell, any good 5 men can do that.
That's my point. Only there's not going to be 5 or even 10. There's going to be 20, 30, maybe 100 of those things. And as soon as they know we're here, this place is going to be crawling with them.
Well, if there are that many, they'll probably get us wherever we go.
Wild hogs.
Look.
Wild hog.
The cellar, there's only one door.
Like the John
Just one
Travolta?
door,
What?
That's all we have to protect.
That's what I thought of too.
It's my only wild hog. It was in theaters when I worked in the movie.
William H. Macy and
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Feral hogs. Sorry, feral hogs.
I mean, if
Oh,
they
that
did
like
get in,
weird meme about like the guy who's like advocating for no gun control because there's like wild hogs attacking his
we
children or
got
something
windows
like
to see what's
that.
going on outside. But down there with no windows, if a rescue
I hope
party
it's
did
real.
come, we wouldn't even know it. But the cellar is the strongest place.
The cellar is a death trap.
I don't think
That's so doily.
I think he's right.
Getting all this rock.
It's like a very
Like-
specific detail.
Maybe 6 or 7.
Look, you two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to the cellar.
I'd take my tie
You
off in
better
this point.
decide.
I don't know if you need a
At
tie.
least loosen the top of it.
Yeah, unclip it.
Now wait a minute, Mr. Cooper.
It's
No,
just
I'm not gonna wait.
safety hazard.
I made my decision. Now you make yours.
All the way up to
Now
my
wait a minute.
armpits.
Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we
When's
do
Barbara
decide to
gonna
stay
say
down there,
anything?
we'll need
Shut the
some
fuck
things
up,
from
guys.
here.
never.
So let's at
She's
least
just
consider this a while.
If you box yourself in this cellar and those things get in the house, you've had it. At least up here you have a fighting chance.
Crickets.
Correct.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, great cutaway.
Like, are they still talking about us in there?
Russia.
There are a lot out
Can we
back.
go yet?
It's Keith Wayne as Tom, and he was certainly one of the one and done kind of actors from this movie. Really did not do anything after this. I think he was a chiropractor later in life, and that was about it.
Ooh. Oh, that's badass.
Real dreamy zombie.
It's all right.
Oh, like James Dean.
Insane. That is
Yep.
the same.
Yep.
Black and white.
Oh.
Those big blues.
I don't know. I think that'd be an interesting, like, conflict of interest in a zombie film. Like, if they were really
Hot
hyper
zombies.
attractive, would you feel less?
Oh, there's a
or
naked
sorry.
zombie.
Oh.
Poker party zombie. Acid.
I believe this
It's a
is
bug crunching.
this is the bug-eating zombie played by Marilyn Eastman, who we're going to see in a different role in like 5
Those
minutes.
things are going to be at every window and door in this place. We've got to get down into the cellar.
Go down in that damn cellar. Get out of here!
I'm taking the girl with me.
You leave her here. Keep your hands off her. And everything else that's up here, too. Because if I stay up here, I'm fighting for everything up here. And the radio and the food is part of what I'm fighting for. Now, if you're going down the cellar, get.
The man's insane. He's insane.
That's where we start the trend
We've got to have
horror
food down
movies
there.
where you go
We've
in
got
the
a right.
basement to
It's
seek
your house.
We've
shelter
got a
for some
right.
reason.
You going down there with him?
I think so. Yeah, it's
Yes or no?
And he's
This is
not
your
having
last
it.
chance. No beating around the bush.
It's a bad plan.
right.
Listen, I got a kid down there. She can't possibly.
You guys ever
She
watch,
can't
Cabin in the
possibly
Woods?
take all the racket and those
No.
those things
That
smashing
is
through
not
the
one
window.
of the
Yes.
formulas.
Oh, it's badass. So, a couple weeks ago was Friday the 13th, and I believe it was a full moon the next day. And so Shelbo was like, let's watch a spooky movie, and we came across Cabin in the
Hell
Woods.
down in the cellar.
And that movie
Be the boss
just
down there.
plays on
I'm
all
boss up
the
here.
common things like going splitting up and not splitting up, or like that's a great movie.
You know, I went over
And
this
at the end,
story.
all like
I mean,
shouldn't spoil.
What is he carrying?
with
Is
my
it a machete?
I
Or
think,
what does he
I
have?
think he
Mine
just
is made up.
may
Just let
happen to
him
have
go.
a machete that he picked up.
It's got kind of like a wobbly.
Wait a
end.
minute.
So I'm trying to think what's going on. Oh, it is. It is.
Come on up.
It's a shillelagh.
Mm.
You're gonna let them get hurt too, huh?
It's all right, honey. Go ahead.
Cool.
Not quite yet.
Oh, okay.
Who's that?
We'll meet
They just
her.
let a new lady in?
We'll meet the
If we stick together,
an
man,
actress who
we
played
can
the
fix
bug-eating
something.
zombie
Okay.
in the basement soon. But
There's lots of places
this
we
is
can
another
find
new
them up here.
addition.
It looks like she's wearing like oddly modern clothes.
We'd all be a lot better off.
Like that's something
All three
you'd
of
see
us
somebody
were
wear at
working
Boone and
together.
Crockett wearing.
That's right.
Hey, kid.
It is interesting because this movie, I mean, it was shot in 67, you know, released in 68, and probably due to the black and whiteness of it, it feels older than that.
Boxing myself.
Yeah.
Except
that's
for
true.
like a few like actors, like her, feels a
Certainly not him.
little bit more modern. Yeah.
Okay.
Board it up tight.
What about Tom and Judy?
They want to stay up there, let them. They're
This is our former bug-eating zombie.
Man and a girl.
We heard the screaming.
Helen Cooper,
Yeah, but I
played
didn't know
by
who they were.
Marilyn Eastman, the business
taking the
partner
unnecessary
of
chances.
Carl Hardman here, who playing husband and wife here. Again, I'm not sure if they were. I don't think they were married, but they may have been just life partners
Can we
and,
ship
and
'em?
business partners for 30 years. They had their own film company in Pittsburgh.
Is she all right?
I don't know.
I'm choosing to ship them.
She feels warm.
And the girl, the
Where'd you get the
young
bandage?
girl on the
Some
table there
laundry in the
is
basket.
is his in real life his daughter, I believe.
Let them stay upstairs. Let them. Too many ways those monsters can get in up there. We'll see who's right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
That's important, isn't it?
What?
To be right, everybody else to be wrong.
What do you mean by that?
Does anyone up there know why we're being attacked?
Whatever it isn't just happening here. It's some kind of mass murder. It's going on everywhere. The radio said to stay inside.
Radio?
Radio upstairs. I heard a news bulletin.
There's a radio upstairs and you boarded us in down here?
I know what I'm doing.
What did it say?
Nothing. Nothing. They don't know anything yet. There's mass murder everywhere, and people are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's happening, well, they'll send people for us to tell us what to do.
People for
How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon? We may not enjoy living together,
Oh,
but dying
wow.
together isn't going to solve anything. Those people aren't our enemies.
That wasn't scripted. You didn't think the cameras were on.
yeah, that's right.
Like, listen.
Listen.
Greg's like,
Let's go up. Tom? If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Will you do it?
Do I have to?
Look, honey, nothing's gonna get done with them down there.
Judy,
Up here.
right there, is played by Judith Ridley. She was actually a receptionist for
Okay, open up.
Hardman and Eastman, the couple down in the basement in real life for their company. She was a receptionist for them. That's how she came into the fold here. Later, after the film, she ended up marrying, for a brief moment of time, Johnny from the beginning of the movie. They hooked up.
I'll take good care of her, Helen.
She's all I have.
Why don't you go upstairs now?
Or a ghoul, I should say. Brenda, you gotta fucking snap out of it, man. Like, that's just get it together. We're past the amount of time that you're, like, freaked out. You gotta start figuring shit out.
Yeah.
What is this way doing?
It gets the spotlight again.
That's what I'm saying. It's a very
Yeah.
How does it?
Yeah, just get a lot of screen time. Really checking it out. I realize how much a lot of people smoking in this movie. They've all got a full pack.
Chesterfield cigarettes.
Don't be afraid of me. I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
This place is ridiculous. Look at this. There's a million weak spots up here.
This guy.
Give me one of those.
Her brother was killed.
Was her brother? Oh. Thought they were.
And they talk about these
Barbara and Johnny?
I thought so.
Oh no, they're
Can't
brother
see a
and
damn
sister.
thing.
Bro and sister.
What are bro and sis doing
That'd be
in
a
the
weird
middle of a
date. 'Cause were
cemetery?
they going to their dad's grave?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be.
Oh, they're
weird.
going to their dad's
That'd be
grave?
a weird date.
Right.
I missed a
Why
lot
don't
of
you do
stuff.
something to help
all right.
somebody?
He was kind of being the big goof though the whole time.
Yeah.
Here I
No one
have.
really
Drag a
misses
couple of those chairs together.
Johnny.
There's the sock over here.
He is.
That's right.
You better watch this and try to understand what's going on. I don't want anyone's life on my hands.
Is there anything I can do to
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister. If you stay up here, you take orders from me. And that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's on, it's on. There's no sound. Play with the rabbit ears.
Boy, this guy.
Incredible as they seem, are not the results of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this?
Shut up! In all parts of the country. The wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. The medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured. I think we have some late word just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you.
I think this was
This
like
is
an
the latest
actual like
disclosure
Pittsburgh
report from
news
National
guy
Civil
that they
Defense
knew
Headquarters
that
in Washington.
they enlisted and
It has been
kind of
established
like wrote his
that
own
persons who have
copy and
recently
just
died have
got it
been
in the
returning
studio.
to life and committing
Town
acts of
Pride.
murder.
Oh yeah.
A widespread investigation
It'd
of
be like if we
reports
did
from
this here and
funeral
it
homes,
was like Ted
morgues,
Perry.
and
Sure.
hospitals has concluded that
No
the
one else.
unburied dead are coming
Shows up
back
on
to
a lot
life,
of Milwaukee
seeking
record stuff, doesn't he?
human
Well,
victims.
yeah, you know he's a friend of the site.
It's hard
you
for
know.
us here to
I saw him at
believe what we're
local
reporting to you,
live
but it
a
does seem
couple
to be
years
a
in a
fact.
row, I think.
Yeah, Ted
When
comes
this
out.
emergency first began,
a
radio
fan.
and television was advising people to stay inside.
I saw
behind
Katrina
locked doors
Cravey
for
at
safety.
a couple
That
Bayview
situation
things this
is now
past summer.
changed.
Yeah.
We're able to report a definite course of
PBS.
action.
It's weird when you see those kind
Civil
of
defense
folks like
machinery
out,
has been
Yeah,
out in the
organized
wild.
to
It's
provide
Yeah.
rescue
like,
stations
wow.
with food,
I
shelter,
saw what
medical
is his name? The
treatment,
guy who's in
and
charge of the
protection by
PBS
armed
station
National
here.
Guardsmen. Stay tuned to
Roshan
the
something or
broadcasting stations
another.
in your local
He's a
area
target though.
for this
Oh,
list of
is
rescue
it Target
stations.
just like everybody else?
This list
Well,
I am
is
walking
throughout our news
around.
coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station
His
nearest
pants
you.
on one leg at a
Make your
time.
way to that location
I love that, like,
as
that's
soon
my
as possible.
level of, like, oh my god, I met a celebrity. It's like public television.
Well, yeah.
That's all, that's
I
my
know that's
favorite
why I
thing. That's all
pulled
I
in here, but
watch.
it's locked.
Called this afternoon.
I saw one of those, Lois Kardashian or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Bodan Zachary, though.
Of staff, the CIA,
That's
has
my
never
level
produced
of
any public
fangirling
information.
out.
Why are space experts being consulted about an Earthbound emergency? So far, all
I
the
forget
betting
there's
on
this
the
weird
answer
space
to that
angle in this
question
movie
set
that,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
That is a curveball.
that never pays off.
That's
Yeah, it's
a
just like,
curveball.
yeah, it's like
started back to
Venus.
Earth, but never got here. That's the space vehicle which orbited Venus and then was purposely destroyed by NASA when scientists discovered it was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation with it.
Sure.
Could that radiation be somehow responsible for
Got it.
wholesale murders?
I'll be right
in
back.
that
I'm
submarine?
gonna forget.
Radiation.
Newsman Don
Radiation
Quinn
break.
in Washington has posed those
It's
questions.
obvious our best move is to try to get out of here.
How are you going to get over there? Look,
You're coming from a meeting regarding the
Mustache.
Yes,
that was the subject of the meeting. You feel there is a connection between this and the phenomenon?
There's a definite connection. A definite connection.
In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation.
Well, just a minute.
Venus.
I'm not
So they went to Venus and came back, and now.
That has been
Never know what to talk about.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen. I must disagree with these gentlemen.
This is the
presently
smallest
until
military
we,
press conference I've
Yeah,
ever
right?
seen.
Like, listen.
Everything is being done that can be
Go to the diner and get a sandwich yet. Leave us alone, man.
Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection
Meaning
between
the
this
giant
radiation?
cheese right here.
It's Dr. Keller and myself.
Oh, it's
please.
Delafield in the
I
background.
thought we
I think.
decided that is not proved yet.
Was the satellite when the satellite was exploded?
Unusual amount of radiation.
They didn't rehearse this thing at all.
Mutation under certain circumstances.
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
I suppose everybody in
does
this
seem
scene
to have
also
bearing.
paid like $17 to get it.
Later.
Yes.
There will be a reply.
Yes.
Later this afternoon. There will be a report this afternoon.
Perhaps there will
Yes,
be a report.
yes.
A more
Later.
formal- Will you close the window?
We are doing everything possible to solve the problem.
We're hoping to get some further explanation of this.
We've heard all these,
There's
so
some
we have to
stuff
try to
freaking
get out of here.
He said the rescue stations have doctors and medical supplies. If we could get care in there, we can get help for her.
Elmo is one of the world's foremost authorities
Very chill.
on space science and technology.
Willard. I saw a sign that said Willard.
Any moment.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming. And Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. So we knew the old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs dead.
Like, you're in the
Then
shot.
those other people came.
Guy in the back, you're walking around in the shot.
Put a bar across the door, and it is pretty strong.
how could we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman out of her head, 3 men, and the place is surrounded with these things.
For NASA. Dr. Grimes, your entire staff, I know, has been working very hard to find some solution to these things that are happening. Do you have any answers at this time?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from such injuries.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
Good advice, Doctor. Now, how about the basic problem of patients?
Look, you go down there and tell Judy. Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
He's very clearly the best actor of the
Oh, yeah.
In the cold room at the university, we had a cadaver from which all 4 limbs had been amputated. Sometime early this morning, it opened
He's
its
called
eyes
Mac.
and began to move its trunk.
frank
It was
discussion.
dead,
Yeah.
but it opened its eyes and tried to move.
Oh, yeah.
They want you upstairs. Did she ask for me?
She hasn't seen anything.
I don't understand. Baby. It's Mommy.
I heard. I'll come back down as soon as I find out what they want.
Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
Well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any arrangements.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. The bodies must be carried to the street.
Very concerned about that.
and burned. They must be
What about
burned
the
immediately.
service?
Soak them with gasoline and burn them. The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give. They're just dead flesh and dangerous.
Whew.
Wow. Okay,
Oof.
got heavy there.
Wow. Yeah, there you go. Just burn them. Sorry, you don't get a funeral. Yeah, there's no meal. There's no little service.
Dubious arrangements.
Just burn them. They're just flesh. It's like the Klingons or something. They're just like, it's just a body. Just jettisoning out the thing. We're done. Night of the Living Dead, 1968. George Romero. Like I was saying before, this movie in the public domain was remade and redone so many times. Sometimes by some of the filmmakers involved. And there was a 1990 remake that was shot in color that actually wasn't that bad. That one kind of had Romero's blessing and starred Tony Todd as the Ben character, and was pretty good. George Romero, of course, went on to do Dawn of the Dead, which I think, have you guys seen Dawn of the Dead? The one in the mall? The shopping mall one?
I actually think I have seen that one.
Yeah. I think
it's supposed to take place in like Kenosha or something?
The remake, strangely, when it was remade maybe 10 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Strangely takes place in Wisconsin for some reason. The original does not. But yeah, that was the sequel, the one where they're running around in a mall.
Basement of Grand Am.
Yeah. Basically, there were clowns. It was the whole thing.
You didn't get a job there.
I was down there. Yeah, it's like, what's going on? Day of the Dead followed that. That kind of has its own following as well. And George Romero, kind of passed away a couple of years ago in 2017. R.I.P. A great filmmaker, and kind of just invented this whole genre out of the blue. Just like I said, a couple of schlubby filmmakers from Pittsburgh who got together and kind of changed the face of horror filmmaking forever. We have maybe 20 minutes or so left of the film. Thank you guys again for stopping by tonight. Tigernite,
thank you for having us
tonight for the inaugural episode of Milwaukee Record Live Scream Theater. Coming to you throughout October. We've got some real doozies coming up. Like I said before, this is as good as it gets tonight. If you really want to see like Attack of the Giant Leeches next week, I think we're watching that with Jack Packard and Maggie Ike, and that should be fun. It should be a good time. So tune in. Thanks for tuning in. We should probably check on the Brewers, right? Has anyone done that? Yeah. And if they win, they go on. If they lose, they're done. So before we get back to the movie, I think it's time to watch another video. This is the one that I've really been hyping up, and really love this song so much. This is a song called Oracle from the last Tigernite album. Could you tell me a little bit about this song?
This song I wrote years ago, and we actually attempted to record this song for our first album, and it just didn't have legs. It didn't work, and we sort of put it on the proverbial song compost heap to let it sit for a while, and ended up bringing it back for this second album, and bringing our friends from the Echelon String Quartet on, which were friends from college. They have a really great combo that they play with regularly, and I'd been looking essentially for an excuse to work with them again. And we pitched the idea to them, and really the first time we heard the songs with the strings was actually when we were in the studio. So it was actually kind of a really beautiful moment. We were all, that's what the song sounds like for all of us. But I actually, it was just the idea that came. I was working at a particularly miserable job for a while, where I had to repeatedly glue anti-armadillo hats all day long, and so it probably had something to do with glue fumes, I'll be honest. That's where the Space Ghost song came from.
Like any great songs, and it came from glue fumes. So Oracle, this is a kind of a self-produced video that's shot.
That's very generous of you. It was shot on a cell phone taped to the wall in my attic. Yes, yes.
Perfect. Well, that's plenty of build-up. Like I said, I love this song so much. Love this video. Tigernite with Oracle.
knows if you're reading this, I've been long dead. An oracle from your future past, you know things different then. And do you ever get this feeling that we're just lost in space? A poltergeist, just a ghost in your life, turning the lights on and off in your place. And when you feel like nobody cares, remember that I do. And when you feel the earth beneath your feet, remember I can feel that too. Your clouds are caving in, the universe ends. I could really use a friend. If you're out there and you can hear me, send me a sign somehow and say something now. See through the mist, you got the wrong name. A language that you can't understand from a time that you can't explain. And do you ever get this feeling that you're the last of your kind? Your father's demise, you left two fossilized because they left you behind. When you feel like nobody cares, remember that I do. Remember, I can feel that too. Your clouds are caving in, the universe ends. I could really use a friend. If you're out there and you can hear me, send me a sign somehow and say something now. If you're out there and you can hear me, if I told you, would you believe in me? You're not behind, you're ahead of your time, man. You're lonely, but you'll be just fine. If you're out there and you can hear me, if I told you, would you believe in me? You're not behind, you're ahead of your time, man. You're lonely, but you'll be just fine. When you feel like nobody cares, remember that I do. And when you feel the earth beneath your feet, remember I can feel that too. Your clouds are caving in, the universe ends. I can really use a friend. If you're out there and you can hear me, send me a sign somehow. Say something now. Something now.
Tigernite with Oracle from your latest album out, and this is an album name that I always have trouble saying. Could you just say it?
Sublunary.
It's one of those words I can't say. I don't know. Like jewelry took me 25 years to like say it. I don't know. It's one of you guys
I don't
have-
think I can say that word.
Do you guys have those words that you just can't get out of your mouth?
I think jewelry would be mine.
Yes, that
I've
was
never
always
said
mine.
that.
Just like jewel. I don't know. It took me until I was 54 to figure it out. So here I am today. So thank you for that. I absolutely love that song so much. And what is on tap for Tigernite in the for the fall and for the future? I know you guys just played a show at Lindeman's River West Inn a few nights ago.
I think our next Milwaukee show is November 16th at Company Brewing, correct?
Isn't there the...
That is a private
That's
event.
private? Okay. Yeah, special.
Yes.
Special
Yes.
private event. But yeah, we got November
16th at Company Brewing. Yep.
Company Brewing. Who will you be playing with for that show?
Modern Joey.
Modern Joey.
Joey and Disco something. It's like a glam night. There's a group of bands.
No, it's alright.
There's a couple bands on the night.
It's like a full month away. We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Where can folks find out more about you? If any, I know everyone's tuning in tonight, by the way, and of course this will live on beyond the live stream. So this is not just like I'm like just gonna erase it tonight, just like ooh, yeah. No, this will live on forever. So where can folks find out more about Tigernite.
You can keep up with shows on Facebook and Instagram at Tigernite MKE.
The most direct way, just head to the basement of Grand Avenue Mall. I mean,
We're there usually.
We're usually there.
I knew it. I
We're
knew it.
usually
I could
there.
feel it. I was like, in 15 years.
There actually is another Milwaukee band who I shouldn't say the name of, but they rehearsed at Grand Ave.
There's a lot of weird stuff going down in the Grand Ave.
I like it.
Well, that's a whole other episode talking
We
about the
do
Grand
this
Ave.
broadcast from the Grand Ave.
Oh my god!
Bring these cute little bats and bring them all to.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the bats. Anyway, let's. We're coming to the conclusion of Night of the Living Dead. Thanks for everything. Everyone for tuning in tonight. This is, of course, brought to you by the 2019 Milwaukee Film Festival, October 17th through 31st at the Oriental Theater, at many other theaters, the Avalon Theater, a lot of different theaters. It's going to be terrific. And I do have some tickets here tonight. So the next person who comments on the stream that does not actually work for Milwaukee Film will get a pair of tickets. So sorry, Marielle, you're disqualified. So anyway, back to the conclusion of. Oh no, you guys all get tickets, by the way. Did I say? I mean,
go see The Last Unicorn.
We got
Milwaukee Film Festival is
pizzas.
badass.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
we played opening night. What was it, like 3 or 4 years ago? Film Festival's badass.
Was that
So
at
fun.
the was that at the Discovery World, or was that at Good City? Or
it was inside of one of the UWM buildings.
Kenilworth building.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Kenilworth
that was the
building.
one.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
that was great. It's a great show.
The Skylight Opera opened for us, and I wasn't nervous at all.
Nope.
Nope.
Not one bit.
It is terrific. Maybe we'll chat more about the Milwaukee Film Festival coming up. Yeah, there's tons of stuff. Here's the program book. You can find these all over town. Let's get back to the movie.
Endangered.
I need you to find some bedspreads or sheets to tear up into small strips, okay?
Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles or jars. Make Molotov cocktails and hold them off while we try to escape.
Hey, there's a big can of kerosene down there.
I'll see what I can find.
I'll look for the bottles.
There's a big key ring down there. There may be a key to the gas pump on it.
I'll check.
We can toss the cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave a door open someplace.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey,
Better be this door.
someplace.
It's closer to the truck. Before we go out, we'll put some supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
I found some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's labeled for the gas pump
I
on the
honestly
back.
don't remember in the timeline when they didn't
Not
come
really
in.
that
I'm
long
sure
on the
there's a
truck. I
reason
found it
for it. I just missed it.
I can handle the truck, no sweat.
You're it then. You and I'll go. We'll put whatever lumber we find behind the cellar door. You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window. Tom, you and I will have to unboard this door. After you toss the cocktails, you hustle back down here and lock this door. It's no good to board it up because we'll have to get back in quickly. After we get the
Guys
gas,
are
get
sweating
back
the
in the
entire
house.
time.
Yeah.
Just
Then you
bald
worry
and
about getting
sweaty.
everybody into the truck. Now let's move it.
Except to the rescue stations which have been set up. Indications are that before this emergency is over, we will need many, many more such rescue stations.
You always have a smile for me. How can you smile like that all
That's
the time?
scissors because he desperately wants to cut his hair.
How many do you have
This isn't
done?
working for you, man.
Come on, honey, we gotta move.
Tom, are you sure about the phone?
The phone is dead out. All you get is a recorded message.
If I could only call the folks. They're going to be so worried about us.
Everything will be all right. As soon as we get to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
I know. Tom, are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What, about getting out of here?
city this takes place in, or this
The television said that's the
somewhere
right
in
thing to
America?
do.
I think it is
Got to get to a rescue
Pennsylvania.
station.
Yeah, I think they do.
I don't know.
mean, it was shot
You're starting to sound
outside
like
of
Mr. Cooper
Pittsburgh.
now.
Why
And I
do you
think in
have
the
to go
beginning
out
they
there?
do reference
I know how to handle that truck.
Barbara
I
and
can handle
Johnny
the
when
pump.
they're
Ben doesn't know anything
yammering on
about that
about
stuff.
what they're up to in the very beginning of the film. I think
We're safe in here.
he does
For
say
how
something
long,
about
honey?
like, oh, we'll have
We're
to move
safe now,
Mom to Pittsburgh.
but
or
there's gonna
something,
be more and
into
more
the
of those
city or
things.
something. So I think it's
I know
supposed to be
all
outside
that.
of the city somewhere.
Hey, listen. Remember when we had the big flood? Remember how difficult it was for us to convince you that it was right to leave? Remember we had to go to Willard then? This isn't a passing thing, honey.
Big flood.
It's not like
Take
just
the
a
animals
wind
2 by
passing
2
through.
into the ark.
We've got to do something in the
It's a
past.
strange turn suddenly in the latter half of this movie.
I just don't want you to go out there, that's all.
Hey, Smiley. Where's that big smile for me?
Yeah, right. Problem, yeah.
Boy.
Go outside.
Really all you need to do.
I'm just showing you
Open,
use it all.
plenty of open space for you
We
to.
got work to do, honey. And you.
Ooh, smooching.
Hmm?
You didn't quite see it.
Meanwhile,
Yeah. Was that happening while she was sitting right beside her?
We have to go
Barbara's like,
downstairs,
oh, Jesus, guys.
Barbara likes to watch.
Yeah.
She's right.
Barbara
We have
doesn't
to
like
go
anything.
downstairs now, just
No.
for a little while, until we get back. Then we can all leave.
Oh, I'd like to leave. Yes.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, she's so comically
Yeah.
catatonic.
it's-
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't
you're-
know. I don't
there's
know what
not a better
how else
word
to
for it,
describe
yeah.
it. Yeah, like I think it strangely works. I don't know. She's just out of it.
Yeah.
She's-
Good shot.
Yeah.
Interested in the remaining house. Like a place that has doilies on the sofa, but also has like a tiger stand into the wall. I want to know about the people who lived here.
I wonder if it was
I
like.
don't know what's going on in this house.
There's like a couple who's like, you can only have the doilies on the couch if I get the tiger
I
nailed to
get
the wall.
The boarhead.
Fine, I'll do it.
A hand comes through.
As long as you keep your iced tea by the nails, I'm fine. Well,
Yoga
all right.
party. Yoga party.
There's man boobs right
just
there.
milling around.
Okay, toss him!
Toss those Molotov.
Here we go.
Oh, those zombies.
Big production
Those
value here.
ghouls are.
Oh!
Oh! That's pretty cool.
Just throw 'em in the general direction.
Direction.
It's effective.
Near them. We got the Zombie on Fire was John Russo, one of the co-writers of the movie. There's some interview where he's talking about how they did
They
that.
died a whole bunch of times. They shot him a
That's
whole bunch
the
of
yeah,
times.
yeah. Sexy zombie.
I'm going with her.
Oh, is that Ray Liotta? That's a lot like her.
I always wanted to
Wait, what was the plan?
Oh no.
Where's it coming? Come on! Get in!
Ooh. Squib. Squib to the back.
You gotta squibs on those videos.
I'm shocked you guys haven't had squibs on it, have you?
We thought about it for our beautiful Dreamer video. It just didn't fit the narrative.
Well,
speaking of public domain.
almost gone at that
Yeah.
shot. Yeah.
Hit him with the car. Right? Just light the grass on fire. Yeah.
Come on! This key won't work.
Watch out.
Gutsy.
What's the torch?
Oh no.
Oh, you fool.
Yeah.
We gotta get away from the pump.
Should be a calming commentary track. Just calming.
Oh, they're tough. See it. Oh, dude, truck. Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Get out of here.
Come on, come on.
Is it the right thing to do?
Oh, they're trouble.
It was so hot they evaporated.
Yeah.
Just nothing left.
God.
Instant incineration.
I mean, that could have easily happened. I don't want to talk about it. Say what it is. Give him the chest again.
Squib to the shoulder. I think in interviews they talked about how like whoever they hired to do the squibs just refused to do any headshots. They're like, no, we're not gonna attempt that. So everyone just gets shot in the back.
Just run to one side of the yard and then wait for them to come to that side of the yard and run to the other. Tire them out. Is that always like, did they like pass out or die if they haven't had brains in a minute?
Yeah.
When you can starve them to death, just run.
We're gonna have a talk.
Yeah.
You go over and do it.
We probably should do it.
That was a thing. Dickwads is good.
It's a classic.
Yeah. No evergreen.
Oh, come on,
Yes.
boys.
Yes.
What are you doing there? Stop.
Drag you out there and feed you those things.
You're right. It'd be interesting.
Oh, here we go. I think we get some good gore here.
They're just being good passengers.
I was gonna say actually.
Have
yeah,
some engine
for-
trouble.
I think we get. This may be the a sequence of money shots here. So it's
Spaghetti and
I'm
salad.
ready. Okay.
Did you guys ever do like when you're like a kid and you went to a Halloween party and there's like you put your hand in a bowl but you can't see what it is. It's like a bowl of like skinned grapes. Like
Yes,
oh,
I still can't eat grapes.
Yep.
I haven't eaten
Because of
grapes in
that?
20 years because of that game.
Scarred. Permanently scarred.
Scarred.
That was it. Wow, yeah.
I was at a-
Grapes, the
Oh, here we
spaghetti.
go.
It was a Girl Scout troop meeting, and I didn't want to do it because I knew I was going to have like a really visceral reaction. And my troop leader yelled at me until I did it, and I did it and threw up, and I haven't eaten grapes in over 25 years.
I'm trying to think of like classic dishes with grapes in it that you're missing out on, but I honestly can't think of any
I know.
of them like a fancy crudité.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of the gore action there.
All right.
That was pretty
AKA, they knew a guy who like ran a butcher shop and
Right.
like, had some like junk laying
Have
around.
some
Like,
brown sugar.
here you go.
It's not 3 o'clock yet.
Where's
There's
this
supposed to
zombie
be
child?
another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
10 minutes.
Barbara,
she's over it.
Doing well.
Only 10 more minutes? We don't have
The
very
golden
long to
hour.
wait.
Time for some photos.
We can leave. Well, we better leave soon. It's 10 minutes to 3.
You know anything about this area at all? I mean, is Willard the nearest town?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Did the girl, anything happen to the girl in the basement?
Not yet. Not yet.
Just trying to get to a
She's got
hotel before dark.
You say those things turned your car over. You think we can get it back on its wheels and drive it? Where is it?
Seems like it was pretty far away. Seems like we ran.
Forget it. It's at least a mile.
Johnny has the keys.
You're gonna carry that child a mile through that army of things out there?
I can carry the kid. What's wrong with her? How'd she get hurt?
One of those things grabbed her.
Bit her on the arm.
Like, why don't you fucking tell me that? Jesus.
What kind of disease those things carry?
Take care of that.
Is she conscious?
Barely.
She can't walk. She's too weak.
I have to do everything.
Yeah,
Good lord. With
his
this.
expression. There should be a supercut of his expression.
Yeah.
He's like,
Johnny has the keys.
damn it. Like,
You fucking
fucking
people.
Jeez.
You have a car? Where? Where is it?
You won't be able to
Barbara,
start.
snap out of it.
Oh, he got a car.
Where
It's
is
in.
it?
Oh, they showed everybody, like, when people are eating the flesh and they were shooting stuff and the truck was blowing up. Presumably, Barbara's just like,
Right.
what's her thing?
Good lord.
It's her big
Good
mood.
lord, what's happening? The rent there. $18.
Yeah, right?
Being monitored closely by scientists at all the radiation detection stations. At this hour,
You can tell they were really excited that they got like a newscaster to do this.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's put him in like 40 minutes of this thing.
situation remains, government
You guys should do like a live broadcast from the Ren Fair next year. For Milwaukee Record Ren Fair.
You know, I've never been to Bristol. I don't know, and it's great shame.
Okay, so I hadn't been there until these two introduced me to it, like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, and I've been every year since, at least once a year. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The Ren Fair is so cool. It's like, you know, I kind of had in my mind what I thought it would be. And I was like, yeah, I guess I could have fun there. But I went there. There's so much stuff to do. Everybody's down to party. Everybody's like in on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody's like critical of it, or it's
We got pants rolled up. We're ready to go.
Blow to the skull. Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
All coming together.
Anything from the supply wagon, cuz?
No, we're all right. Hey,
suddenly looked in the 60s when it was
We don't
top
want to
shot.
get up again.
Bands.
Gotta get this guy
McClellan,
in.
how's everything going?
Oh, things aren't going too bad. Men are taking it pretty good. You want to get on the other side of the road over there?
Chief, do you think we'll be able to defeat these things?
Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last 3 we caught trying to claw their way into an abandoned shed. They must have thought somebody was in there. There wasn't, though. We heard them making all kind of noise.
Cool.
We came over
Right.
and beat them off, blasted them down.
And beer.
Yeah, okay.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way to kill them. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take you until you get the situation under control?
Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them there are. We know when we find them, we can kill them.
Are they slow moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Well, in time...
They're all messed up.
24 hours?
Love that.
Well,
I think that's my favorite line.
really
in the whole
know.
movie. Yeah, they're
We know
dead.
we'll be
They're all
You know,
Almost
this is
at
a
night,
very
probably into the early
natural
We're working our way toward Willard. We'll team up with the National Guard over there, and then we'll be able to give a more definite.
This guy may have actually believed this was going on.
This is Bill Cardell, WIC TV 11 News.
Thank you, Bill, for that report. Official spokesman declined to speculate just how long it may take to kill off all the flesh eaters, so long as the heavy rain.
Here we go.
Is the fuse box in the cellar?
I don't know. It isn't the fuse. The power lines are down. Helen, I have to get that gun.
Haven't you?
Old fella.
Oh, in the personal car.
People are dead already on account of that guy. Take a look out that window.
Never can hear you.
Uh-oh. They're good with tools. This part is definitely reminiscent of George Romero even said that he was inspired by, or in his words, kind of ripped off the Richard Matheson book, the Omega Man. It was remade into The Last Man on Earth. It kind of like was remade into different movies. It's not the Omega Man. What is it? I Am Legend, thank you. I Am Legend, which Vincent Price kind of starred in a remake of that back in the day. That was called The Last Man on Earth. I Am Legend. Will Smith eventually, Will Smith eventually did kind of a proper adaptation of that. And that's about, just one guy kind of alone. He's the last one left, and it's vampires in that. Not zombies, but vampires. Certainly this last scene where it's just one person or a couple people left in this house, and it's just all these zombies or vampires or ghouls or whatever you want to call them, just pounding on the doors. Very reminiscent of that book and those original films.
Is The Last Man on Earth like one of the classic Christmas movies?
I don't know if they did that one yet. No. That was one that I really wanted to do for this whole series, but YouTube is not agreeing with that. So
it's a great movie.
Monster Club.
Monster Club. It's pretty ridiculous. It's Vincent Price, and it's a series of like mini monster vignettes. It's absurd. And a great soundtrack.
Well, monsters are cool. Is that from that movie?
It.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. The first Tiger of all time.
Here we go.
Come on, my man. Oh, yeah. Oh. I missed all.
That developed quickly.
That.
Yeah, it really does.
Here.
Papa.
Oh, baby.
Suzanne. Oh, you're in trouble. Oh, you're in trouble. Just barrel roll. Do something.
This is going on for a long time.
Oh, and now she's. Look at the delay on the screen, though. That's wonderful. Somebody just did a DD5 and
They are doubling down on this thing.
Yeah,
They're just
good.
like, yep. Heart out. Stock. On that one.
I mean, if they get killed by these zombies, it's... Oh, Johnny.
Oh, who is it?
It's Johnny.
Snap.
Those driving gloves.
Barbara! Barbara, fucking move! They go so slow, you can get out of there. Oh. Barbara's toasted.
Yep.
This guy's toasted. They're all toasted.
ROG zombie. There he is. He's back. There's
Just punch her. She's a tiny little
Trying to
Karen.
be like a so bad.
Classic.
Snake bite. Don't drop the gun. Also well dressed. I feel like half of them are like,
Yeah, they're all, you know. Recently, yeah, very recently. There's some nightgowns and some shirtless folks. For the most part. This is like every party I've ever thrown. This is how I end up at the night. Just like locking myself off at night. That's enough. Done.
and everybody's hanging in the kitchen. And you're like, but
Right.
everything's all good.
Oh.
Yeah, pop him.
Yeah.
You gotta pop him.
Yeah, he did that.
No trouble.
This sounds like I'm meant to the previous summer. That was
Wow.
that was quick.
Just, yeah, there you go. Go home, but you can't stay here, folks. Come on, let's
You're supposed to be flashed
Stay
at this
going.
party.
Oh, what? And it's just over.
yeah. Hey, chopper.
Wild outbreak. Zombies in America. Where do we send the choppers? Oh, rule.
That's
There's probably the most survivors there.
Dropping in.
Oh, hey, you guys zombies or no? We're trying to pick up all the people are not zombies. You should really turn this into a drinking game. I realize it's too late to
about 4 or
come up
5
with
men and a
that.
couple dogs.
What would have been the drinking game?
Like every time Barbara goes like this, take a drink.
Yeah,
We
cheaper.
fucking
Side eye. Every time there's a side eye.
Side eye, yeah, a Ben kind of like.
Doing all the work. Thank you. Where should
Anytime
we
the
wrap
main
up
guy
here? About
punched
3 or 4
somebody,
more
you
hours,
take a
we'll
drink.
probably get into Willard then. I guess you can go over
This
there.
guy shows up. I don't know. He's.
Nick, you and the
Anytime
rest
there's
of
a
these
news
men wanna come
broadcast,
with
take a
me?
drink.
Oh boy, well,
No,
yeah.
I'll check in the office, see what's happening.
All right, Steve, tell him we're going to stay with it, and everything appears to be under control.
Yeah.
They need you down there
It's
by
such
the
a
barn.
yeah, it's such a long build, and yeah, you just know what's coming.
I don't know what's coming yet.
Check
Feel
out the
dumb.
house. Somebody had a cookout here, Vince.
Yeah, sure looks like it, Cop.
Oh, now I know what's gonna
Okay.
happen. Damn it.
This is a
Oh.
sad-
Oh. And they're all.
He's a dead one. Get up here. Nick, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire? You, drag that out of here and throw it on the fire.
Nothing down here.
All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house.
There's something there. I heard a noise.
I heard that. That's the whole elbow restances.
All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes.
Don't.
Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
It really was. They didn't even do like a dramatic like. It was just boom. Yep.
Woof.
Directly ahead. Over.
Keep those dogs back off of those things.
There you go. The heartwarming ending.
Feel good film.
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead. No one survives this thing, right? I
No.
mean,
Not anyone we cared about.
no one makes it
No
out
one.
alive.
No one. Not a singular.
No one from the house. The sad thing is like the the bald sweaty guy. In the end, he's right the entire time. He's like, let's get down in the basement. Let's hide out there, which is where Ben ends up, unfortunately, at the end. And just one of the many kind of brutal cappers to this movie. Which boy, yeah. So yeah.
I understand it being a classic. I mean,
Yeah.
because if you
Yeah,
think
that's
about
true.
it, I mean,
Yeah.
this is really, I don't know, it feels like a,
Let's go, man.
It's the first of its kind.
well, like a fairly accurate. Oh, it go down. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
we wouldn't all come out of this and then have like a flash forward 6 months later at the end of the film where we all
Right.
were doing great.
montage.
Yeah. Remember that time that totally traumatic thing and all this? Yeah, that was such a long time ago.
Good time.
Yeah, Pyre. That was probably
The end. Well,
and
yes,
Finn. Night of the Living Dead, George Romero, 1968, premiered 51 years ago. Tonight, how about that, October 1st, 1968. As we were saying, a brutal ending, a huge downer of an ending, but like I said, how else would it go down? This is pretty much how it would go down. So,
Cinematique.
A classic.
I enjoyed it.
Has spawned so many imitators, so many direct sequels, indirect sequels, hugely influential. So hats off to the late great George Romero and everyone involved in this terrific film. Hats off to Milwaukee Film for letting us do this ridiculous thing. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you so much to Tigernite. Thank you, the three of you, for dropping by tonight and being the guinea pigs for this first thing.
We liked it.
Yeah, it was fun. Super fun.
This was great. Stick around throughout the rest of the month. Stick around for the rest of the month. Have we checked on the Brewers? Let me do that before we go here.
Not good.
Oh! What? No, that's the final?
Not great. My group chat was blown up. What a way to end the stream.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, just as Night of the Living Dead ends on a giant downer, and something's happening upstairs too. This is the end. Boy, what a tough night for everyone.
Everybody died, including the Brewers' postseason chances.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Let's go out on a high note. Let's watch Witch again. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Good night. We'll see you next week.